Welcome to lesson 11. In this lesson, we'll be working with Git, one of the most difficult topics to understand. On the surface, everything seems quite easy, but when you start digging deeper, you understand that it's very hard. And you see that it's very hard when you start working with it, when you work with code, and when you need to cooperate with your colleagues on GitHub. And it causes, right now we have AI, and AI is very helpful, but imagine what would you do without AI? And in this lesson, we'll be trying to understand how to work without AI. Yes, AI is very, very useful, but my principle is like never rely on AI too much. Who knows what will happen in the future, right? Okay, I will make myself smaller. And let's start with reading the plan for today's lesson. We'll SSH into my Ubuntu machine on AWS with Visual Studio Code. We'll work with commits on 2 branches, and we'll rename one of the branches. We'll rename master to main, and merge and rebase. Very hard to understand, especially if you want to remove, if you want to get to the previous state of things. Very hard. So today we'll be practicing a lot. And please, don't just watch, do what I do. It's very important because practice is everything. Practice makes perfect, and theory is nothing. And these are the commands for today's lesson. We'll be working with this. This is how we'll rename master to main. Maybe we won't be working with this one today. And git merge and git rebase. So let's go to my Visual Studio Code, to my AWS account, and here I need to switch to English. Sign into console, and here in lesson 9 I worked with my Django project. I created a Django website on my virtual machine on AWS instances, and I stopped that instance because when the instance doesn't work, they charge less money. And why would I have a running instance if I don't have a website actually here? Yeah. So let's start. Let's launch this instance again, start instance. And now the public IP address will be different. Let's refresh. Control C. Let's SSH into this machine first with command prompt Windows R. And now SSH. By default, all virtual machines have the username Ubuntu. Ubuntu here. And something is wrong. See, it's not connecting. Let's figure out the problem. One of the problems is that one of the causes could be that the IP address has changed because I don't have a real static public IP address. I have what they call CGNet. Yes, so therefore, let's go back to my security group. And here, edit inbound rules. And here, see, I have this number 12, but let's curl if config me, yeah. And here is different. Here I have 12 and here 12. Even if I switch to 18, yeah, it may not work. So therefore, let's choose this one, anywhere, save rules. And now it should work. SSH, Let's copy this command, this line, Control V, and now it should work. Yes, now it's working. And now let's SSH into this machine with my Visual Studio Code, because as you saw in lesson 9, it's way more convenient to work with Visual Studio Code. Remote SSH, connect to host, and here add new SSH and SSH, right? Ubuntu. Okay, let's go to my instances and let's copy this one more time. Control C, Control V, this one, and connect. Linux. Yes, we are connected. And here, let's create, open a folder, like Git Branch. Okay, let's create one more here first. Let's call it like something, maybe. So ls, and I have the two folders here. Let's create one more folder, like mkdir, and here like something git lesson, right? And now file, open folder, Ubuntu, and git lesson. Okay, let's check if git is installed here. Git version. Yes, it is installed here. Now git init. Yeah, and now we can start working with git. Let's create our first. We can do it here. We can create a file here or with touch and 1.txt. Let's type something here. My first entry git. If we type git status, you will see that it's red. So we need to git add, git commit, and here it will create 1.txt, right? 1.txt. Okay, if you type git log, you will see that we have just one commit for now. Touch 2.txt. And now let's type something here. My first entry here, Control S, git add. Yeah, once again, if we type status, it's red. It means that it's not staged. The changes have not been staged. And after this, yeah, if you type git status, it's green. It means that it's ready to be committed. And here, git commit, it will create 2.txt, right? And now we can travel in time, yeah, between the two commits. Git log. But for now, we won't be doing this. Let's create two more files. Yeah, touch 3.txt, right? And let's type something here. My first entry here, Control S, git add, git commit, and here it will create 3.txt. And one more, touch 4.txt, right? And the same here, my first entry here, Control S, and now we can type git log, and you will see all of these commits. We have 4. They're all here. We have a better command, one line. Yeah, now it's easier, right? And actually, let's rename the branch, because I don't like the name master. Now it's more common to work with main. See, now if I do the same, git log one line, the name is main, not master, but main. And I have but what's wrong? Looks like I didn't commit, yeah? My fourth, right? I have just 3 commits here. So let's type git status. Yes, so git add, and now if I type git status, it will be green. So git commit m, it will create 4 txt, right? And now if I type git log one line, you will see that I have 4 commits here. How to delete the last commit? So create 4 txt. How do we do this? For this, we need to type git reset hard, and here we need to choose the ID of the commit, the one before the last. This one. Control C and Control V. And this one will be deleted. Or we can also do it like this. Head, because head is here, right? On the last commit. And we can type -1 and type git log one line, and as you can see, now create 3 txt is the last commit, right? And now let's create this file one more time. Touch 4 txt. I'm back. Yeah. Okay. And here git add, right? And git commit, and here create. It will create 4 txt again, right? Like commit 4. Let's type commit 4. Yeah, and now git log one line, and we have all of them here. So this is our first commit, this is the second commit, the third, the fourth. And now let's return to the time when we had just 2 commits, 2 files. Git checkout, and now we need to copy the ID of the second commit. Control C, Control V. Yes, and now as you can see, I don't have these files anymore. Yeah, 1 txt, 2 txt, 2 txt, and here git log one line all. Yeah, because now my head is here. My head shows where we are currently. And without all, it will show just the first 2 commits. Okay, and now let's create a branch here. And now, starting from this commit, from commit number 2, we will have another branch. And these 2 branches will have the same first 2 commits. They'll be the same, but after that, things will start getting different. Git branch, and let it be alternative reality, yeah. And now git branch A, and now let's switch to this branch, and let's create 2 more files here. Git alternative, check out, right? Check out alternative. And now we can git log 1 line, and now, as you can see, we are here. And now let's work on this branch. Touch 3 alternative, right? Alternative txt. And here my first something like alternative entry in this file, something like this. It doesn't matter what to type here. Git add, git commit my first commit in my alternative branch, right? 3, and now 3 alternative txt, something like this. And now let's create one more. Git, touch 4 alternative txt, and here like the same. Let's copy. Here s, and git add, git commit my second commit on my alternative branch, right? So 4 alternative txt was created here. Yes, and now we can practice with merge and rebase. But I think this is what we'll be doing in our next lesson, because my lessons have to be 20 to 30 minutes long. Yeah, because really I understood that lessons shouldn't be too long. And maybe I will create one more lesson today, or maybe tomorrow. Okay, thank you. See you in the next lesson. Bye.